paying too much for your car insurance, here are 3 reasons why you should call Freeway Insurance right now.
At Freeway, it doesn't matter whether you have tickets, accidents, or even a DUI. They still can get you covered.
And I'm Juju Chang at ABC News headquarters in New York, and we're coming on the air at this hour with breaking news. It's morning in Israel. It's 10:30 to be exact, and we have confirmation now that 3 hostages held by Hamas have been released into Red Cross custody. They were driven away in white vehicles with Red Cross markings, first from Khan Yunis, then Gaza City, including 1 American hostage. Keith Siegel, as you see right there, 65-year-old American-Israeli, held hostage for more than 15 months. You see him flanked there by Hamas fighters who are armed and masked. Those among the newly released just moments ago in Gaza City is what you're looking at. Siegel entering a car and driving away with the Red Cross. Siegel is one of 3 male hostages who were freed this morning in Israel. The other 2 are Ofer Calderon, a 54-year-old French-Israeli dual citizen, and Yarden Bibas, the 35-year-old father of the youngest hostage. The 3 men, though, were released today as part of the Israel-Gaza ceasefire deal. In exchange, Israel is expected to free more than 100 Palestinian prisoners and allow for additional humanitarian aid. Siegel, as you may know, was raised in North Carolina, and his wife Aviva were both kidnapped from their home in Kfar Aza. You're looking at pictures earlier from Khan Yunis, and this is a picture from earlier this morning of the release of the 2 other men. Aviva, his wife, Siegel's wife, was released with dozens of women and children in a prisoner exchange back in November in 2023. I want to bring in ABC's Britt Clinton in Tel Aviv in what's known as Hostage Square. There was a big yelp that went up. We know for the latest, Britt, this handover was far more orderly than the past handovers.
It was indeed, Juju. The crowd here erupted into cheers, but there was also tears of joy as Keith Siegel, the first American in this ceasefire deal to be freed after 15 months in captivity. As I say, there were tears, there were cheers, there were claps, but also I think the overwhelming emotion here is one of relief as we saw those images on the big screen here in Hostage Square of Keith Siegel in his black cap, looking slightly thinner than he was before. He was waving at the crowd on the stage there in Gaza City in the port. Now he will be taken for assessment. We don't know what his condition is like, and he'll meet there with his wife Aviva and their son as well. Now Aviva herself, she was also taken with Keith on October 7th from their kibbutz Kfar Aza. Aviva was released in 2023 in November in the week-long ceasefire then, and Aviva speaking to us in September said that when Keith comes out, he's going to be treated like a king. Juju.
Britt, we also know that the other 2 hostages have already been reunited with family members. But give us a sense of the elaborate staging this morning that we saw and the feeling right now in Hostage Square. How are other family members and supporters responding?
Yeah, I think, you know, with these earlier handovers, we did see Hamas trying to project this image of power and order in Gaza. And then we saw on Thursday those images of Abel Yahud going through those large crowds surrounded by those masked militants. She clearly was distressed. That prompted Netanyahu to temporarily delay the release of those Palestinian prisoners. So certainly, again, we saw order again. There weren't any large crowds. There were mostly just militants there. Again, Keith waving at the crowd. So certainly it seems as though Hamas has taken heed of that criticism at least. And it does seem like there's less chaos and commotion there with these handovers.
Britt, well, thank you for the latest from Hostage Square there in Tel Aviv. To recap now, 3 hostages held by Hamas have been released, including American Keith Siegel. We'll have much more on Good Morning America Saturday. I'm Juju Chang here at ABC News headquarters in New York, and we return you now to your regular scheduled programming, which on the West Coast is Nightline.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Said any time. Oh, here I am.